Good evening, friends. Today is June 29th, 2017, and I'm filming late at night, right before I go to bed. I just wanted to document what went on today. So, today I had a hysterosonogram. It's basically a saline sonogram. So, this was done at the IVF clinic, and what they did is they put a catheter up, and they blow up a little balloon full of a saline solution, and then that way when they do the ultrasound, I don't know, it helps them see it better. I don't know what they can see that they can't see on a normal ultrasound, but that they can see with this one. I don't know. But the doctor said I needed to do it. I've done it before a couple years ago, so they just wanted an updated test. Everything went, the results were all perfectly fine. They said everything looked great. We got the green light to go ahead and start IVF whenever, well, I'll say more about that in a minute, but it hurt way more than I thought it was gonna hurt. They warned me, but last night they gave me an antibiotic to take, so I had to take that, and then I had to take ibuprofen like 2 hours before the ultrasound. And I guess it's the catheter when they put it up that hurts. I just felt like a pinch, and then I don't know, like it hurt for a second, and then like 5 seconds later it really hurt. So I wasn't really expecting it to hurt that much, but once the like the hurt part was done, I mean like the pinch part, it was just uncomfortable. It didn't hurt bad after that. It was just the initial like prick of the catheter. So, and it was nice because the doctor said, he's like, that was the worst part, you know. So after that I could kind of like unclench my hands, just knowing that the worst part was over. So yeah, so that was the hysterosonogram, I think is how you say it. I'm not even going to try to spell it because I can't. So we just referred to it as the saline sonogram. And yeah, I worked until 2 and my appointment was at 3 and it was like 45 minutes away. So I had to, I prayed that there was no traffic and I flew over to the appointment. And then, I mean, I didn't really fly, but yeah, I got to the appointment, plenty of time. Everything looked great. The doctor was really pleased with it. So now what happens is I have an appointment with not the gynecologist. I keep wanting to say the gynecologist, the OBGYN, on the 6th of July. And they are the last doctor I have to check off on my list before we can actually start the IVF. So I'll see them, I'll get that done, and then we are all set. So at that point, all we do is wait till my cycle starts, which should be after like July 15th, if it comes at a normal time. And then once my cycle starts, what I think will happen is we will start the birth control, and we'll have a month of birth control, and then the next month is when we will actively be doing IVF. So the month right now is kind of like the prep work, visiting a whole bunch of different doctors, getting everybody to check off and say it's okay to go ahead. Another thing, I'm trying to decide if I want to talk about it in this video. That's fine. So I have PCOS, which is polycystic ovarian syndrome, and it's always been explained to me as like the cousin of diabetes. So basically you are resistant to insulin, which makes your body act the same way that it would act if you had diabetes, pretty much. And so whenever I do blood tests and we test for my A1C, it's always high. And the doctors always just say, oh, well, it's because you have PCOS, and they just kind of write it off as that. You know, and they always say like, oh, you should lose weight. But they've never, ever said diabetes. It's always been, it's PCOS. So of course it's going to be high. Yeah. So even the fertility doctors, we've gone to fertility doctors in Maryland, we've gone in Arkansas, we've gone in Memphis, Tennessee. None of them have ever said you need to talk with a diabetes specialist. So now, so I live in Arkansas with my husband, but I'm from California. So I flew out to California for the summer to do IVF. And I met with a doctor and they did all the tests, and it came back that my A1C was high. And it was like the diabetic cutoff, or the beginning of the diabetic range, is 6.5, and mine was 6.6. So it was like right on the bubble. Excuse me. Which again, it's pretty much always around like 6.6, 6.7, and they always just say it's PCOS. So, you know, when I saw that, I was like, okay, well, it's just PCOS. So the doctor said, you need to go talk to the diabetes counselor. So I went to the appointment thinking they're just going to tell me, you know, oh, it's PCOS, like try to lose some weight, whatever. And the counselor was like, nope, you've got diabetes, like you're doomed. And she just made it sound so horrible and like my life was over. And I came back to my parents' house and I was just bawling. She, you know, was like, you're gonna need to be on insulin, da 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 da. And she was very like harsh, and I don't know, I left feeling so horrible. And I didn't like that at all. So a couple days later, I had to go see the endocrinologist. And so I went to that appointment thinking, you know, okay, they're going to tell me like what life's going to be like with diabetes and yada yada. So we sit down, and first off, I love my endocrinologist. Like, I love him. He, you know, he kind of counseled me through it. And he was like, you're right on the bubble. Like, you're so close to not being diabetic. And I was like, yeah, you know, normally they just say it's PCOS and we leave it at that. And what he said was, he's like, well, I would say that too if you weren't trying to get pregnant. He's like, if you're just normal, you know, and not trying to get pregnant, then your numbers are fine. And I wouldn't worry about it, and you don't need to change anything. He's like, yeah, you could lose some weight, but I wouldn't say like, oh, you're a diabetic, you need to be on insulin, da 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 da. He said, now the problem is that we're trying to get pregnant. And so basically what he said is it's like gestational diabetes, but before you're pregnant. So I have to prick my finger 4 times a day to monitor my blood sugars. And he's like, your numbers, so my numbers without medication would be perfectly fine if I wasn't trying to get pregnant. He's like, you wouldn't even need to monitor your blood sugars because you're so close. But obviously I'm out here to get pregnant and to do IVF. So they're treating me, I have to have my numbers within the pregnancy range and not the average person range. So what that means is I test my blood sugars after every meal and fasting. So the doctor had said that what really helps with after mealtime blood sugar numbers is taking like a 20-minute walk after every meal. So if I'm not working, I really try to walk. Usually I try to get like a mile and a half in. So obviously it's more than 20 minutes. And so that helps my numbers. If I walk, my numbers after meals are perfectly in the pregnant normal range. So I don't really need to worry about those. However, my fasting numbers are slightly elevated. So for fasting, if you're pregnant, they want your number to be under 90, whatever the units are. And mine would be like 95, 100. So not terribly bad, but not good. I mean, not ideal for if you're pregnant. So I have to take insulin at night to try to combat that fasting blood sugar being high. And the doctor was so positive. He's like, there's absolutely nothing you can do to change your fasting number. It's your body, you know, it's your genetics. You know, you can do what you can do about the after meal numbers, and that's about it. He's like, so, you know, it's not that you are eating bad things or you're not working out enough. You know, it's just, this is your chemicals, and that's what it's gonna be. And so he's like, you're gonna have to take insulin, but you're only gonna have to take insulin until you deliver the baby. He says the minute you bring baby home from the hospital, you can stop taking insulin because your numbers are fine for a normal person. So just the way he said it did not make me feel like doom and gloom. You know, I can do it for a baby. If that's what I gotta do, I will stick myself in the stomach every night. And I know it's like IVF, I'm gonna have to do shots. So this is kind of like practice, a little baby needle. So while I'm not happy about it, I am not as bummed as I was after I saw the first nutrition counselor. And I've switched to a different to a different clinic. So I don't think I have to go back to her, which is a good thing. So yeah. So I'm taking insulin at night, and that's under control. And then today I had the sonogram, and that got a good clean bill of health. And then next week I'll go to, so they want me to see a high-risk OBGYN because of the PCOS and the IVF. So I have to go meet with them next week, and then we should be on our way. So that's where we are. I'm gonna try to update when I have something to update. So probably next week after the OBGYN, I will try to film a little video, and I'll try to do it during the day so I don't have to whisper at night, and so the lighting's a little better. But yeah, I just wanted to document this while it was happening. So thanks for watching, who's ever watching this, and I'll see you guys later. Alright, take care.